What is up, guys? Today I'm gonna show you guys a little behind the scenes of Lost. I know I took a little while because I was on some adventures in the meantime. Luckily, this is one of the few songs that survived the rapture because my hard drive with all my songs got destroyed and I pretty much lost a lot of songs. So this is one of them that survived that apocalypse. So when making this song, I remember the first thing I made was the piano, the first thing you hear. So it began like this, very dark, very dark. Then I added the amp to give it a little bit more, make it sound a little bit more distorted, I guess you can call it, with a little bit more gain and stuff. And obviously gotta clean it up with some EQ. Had to make it sound very simple. Just take the 2K area a little bit just to give it a little bit of brightness on it to make it sound a little bit more clear. So on top of that, I did a compressor, the TR5 compressor. As you can see on it, I didn't do much. Kept it very simple. Just to tame it a little bit, just to make it a little bit more tighter. Then I added the TR5 EQ81. I love this EQ. I use it pretty much on everything because it gives that analog feeling. I've never worked with analog, but I guess this is the feeling that it gives. Then OTT on it. To be honest, I just season it with OTT just until I'm happy with it. Then I added a magic shift on it. This is a chorus. So now you can hear it feel a lot more fuller, a lot more wider. Then I added a pitch drift just to distort the pitch a little bit, just to make it sound a little bit wobbly in the pitch. And then finally I added a Valhalla reverb to make it sound big and that it's coming from arena. So then I bounced that and cleaned it up a little bit more. Okay, again compressed it. I used the New York piano composition because that made it feel tighter again. I just wanted it to get as tight as possible. Okay, so a little production tip. When you have a MIDI instrument, mix it as much as you can and then bounce the track and turn everything off. You're gonna save a lot of RAM space. So for example, now I can play it with no problem. The next thing I did was the bass. Okay, so it was basically a stock bass that I had in Logic. And yeah, since it was just stock, I wanted to pass it through an amp still to give it that bass feeling. Always EQ, cleaning up, add some boost frequency. So yeah, I added this compression at first. Then I added again the T-Rack 5 EQ noisy bass preset. Then I added the Plug-in Alliance BX subfilter and just the direct input bass to give it a little bit more beefiness to it. So yeah, you can hear the beefiness that it gives it. So, and then I used the black box saturation, aggressive bass guitar. Then I used again the compressor, but used it as a limiter. And again, I used Magic Swift to whiten it up a bit, and some space reverb. Yeah, so I bounced it and it became this. Okay, so the next thing I did was the vintage machine. So yeah, that was MIDI. As you can see, I've used EQ to clean it up, the R bass that isn't here anymore, the TR5 to give it some punch, the multiplier, which is just basically it's basically like OTT but just the stock version. And I like to use this because I feel like, especially on drums, I feel like I have more control over what I want to get, what I want to be boosted or not. Then I use little radiator to saturate it, and then Lindell again to compress it, to limit it. You gotta mix everything separately, make sure everything is just the tone you want it to be. So again, EQ it how you like it. Always remove the low ends a little bit, even though it's bass. And here I remove a little bit of the high end and boost a little bit of the mids. Then I added a compressor that is in here. Then I added Plug Alliance BX subfilter, bass drum, tight preset, and the black box to saturate it. The snare. And then the hi-hat. Okay. So yeah, as you can hear it there, actually, it sounds very, it's... No, I can promise that. I've been waiting for you right here and right. As you can see it there, it's piercing a lot through the song. And it's not the exact aesthetic I'm going for. So that's when I bounced it in the EQ and everything. I just played around with it until I got it to sound like this. Basically like that. So then I added the EQs on it and the reverb. Maybe now looking back, maybe I put a little bit too much reverb, but it's the aesthetic of the song, so I don't mind. Late at night, thinking what I could have said. Because that was supposed to just be a drum machine in the back till the actual drums kicks in. And yeah, I say actual drums, but it's just MIDI drums. And this is just a preset that I had, that I made myself. And yeah, if you guys want a hold on video of that, just let me know. But yeah, so yeah, that's the drums that I added. Then I bounced that also. So then I had to obviously add some Caribbean flavor in it, some percussion. Yeah, so this is very simple, shaker, but I added a flanger to make it sound like it's rising and going down. So it sounds like, yeah, sounds like that. Also conga. Thinking what I could have said. And yeah, so then I add some pitch correction, obviously at the right key, some EQ, very simple EQ, de-esser, compressor, EQ again, but to add some seasoning in it. And yeah, that's how I did that. I'm gonna be real with you. I made this song a very long time ago, so I don't really remember the process of it. One thing that was very essential to me was the, wait, let me was this background vocals. Don't. And how I did it basically was just EQ everything how you do it normally, and then add a bit crusher to make it sound like all pixelated basically. Yeah, so it has that pixelated sound. Oh, okay, so these are the back end vocals. I'll be waiting for you. Yet you're there standing front row. And the last thing I added was this like white synth spacey. To give it space, to make it feel wide, to make it feel all open and stuff. Can't see past my almost. I'm so late to motion. Yet you're there standing front row. I am stuck in the middle of a million. I'm trying to get back up, but there is no antenna. Water falling down with a broken umbrella. Used to calling you when nobody would wake up. Then I added this like string sounding thing in the back. Sounds kind of like a violin-ish. And the last thing I added was this guitar sounding thing. Like a little guitar solo at the end. And yeah, that little drum solo I had back in the end. So yeah, that's a quick behind the scene of how I made Lost. So if you have any question, if you have any other details that you want to know, just let me know. And yeah, I'm back to releasing music again. So let's get it.